Hello, dear fans, friends, and subscribers. This is your host Ram back with you on the Cricket Happening show this weekend, as I normally do. And today, we are going to look at the decider. What a match that was! I mean, it was perfect decider, as the England captain Morgan definitely said at the pre-match that this is like a dress rehearsal for the T20 World Cup, which is going to be played in India. But I have to say, this particular game, which was played, the final match of the T20 series, the decider. It was something which had everything in it. Everything in it. So it was a great batting pitch. So I thought on a cracker of a contest, this was a perfect pitch because where both the teams had their chances because it was a perfect batting pitch. It was only a matter of whose skills were better on that day. And it was India who proved that they had the better skills as they put it across England with a mighty total on the board of 224, the highest ever total that they made against England in a T20, and England basically were kept to 188. Uh, uh, 188 for 8, and India won by 36 runs and thus winning this wonderful series. The pendulum kept on swinging, and finally, it was India who finally clinched the ODI series, the T20 series, 3-2. But what a contest we had! We had a cracker of a contest, a cracker of a T20 series, and now the focus shifts on to the three one-day internationals that would be played in Pune. I think it is on March 23, 26, and 28. So I'll be talking about this game definitely, and once definitely the focus will be on the India versus England final T20, and then I will also have a look at how Afghanistan clean swept the Zimbabweans 3-0, and can you believe it? Asghar Afghan, the Afghanistan cricket captain, has become the captain with the most number of victories in T20 history. He went past the other day, he equaled Mahendra Singh Dhoni, the former Indian captain, and today he has usurped that. And now Asghar Afghan, the Afghanistan captain, is holding the record for the most number of wins as a captain in T20 history. And that's really a super achievement by Asghar Afghan, the Afghanistan cricket captain. And then we'll also have a look at Bangladesh actually starting their tour of New Zealand, but losing their first one-day international. And then we'll also catch up with, if at all time permits me, we'll also catch up on what we had this week as I normally do, and then we'll take it on from there. So first, let's head on to the final T20 match between India and England, and what a match that was. First, let's be very thankful that in a cracker of a contest, the decider, which was going to decide as to who would be taking the paytm T20 trophy, it was India who won by 36 runs to take the trophy. But what was more important was how things would really pan out. As I said, both the teams had their chances because, as I said, this was a perfect batting pitch, and both the teams have the absolute ammunition to fire on all cylinders. But it was India who did that well today, and they won the game. As far as this particular game goes, well, again, let's. One was thinking whether the toss will be vital. We saw in the fourth T20 that India actually chased and changed the equation, and once again, India has done that. They once again were put by Morgan. The luck of the toss definitely going England's way, and Morgan actually putting India on to bat first. But what an electric start it was. Rohit Sharma absolutely buzzing into form, one could say. What strokes! I mean, his strokes were simply, what to say? I mean, simply brilliant, effortless knock of 64 of 35. And also, today, India decided, which was expected, they decided to leave out KL Rahul, the struggling KL Rahul, and instead they brought in a bowler, T. Natarajan, into the side. And Virat Kohli, the Indian captain, decided in a crunch game that he will open the innings. And as he said before, he's planning to open in IPL 2021 for Royal Challengers Bangalore, which he has already said in the post-match conference. And Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli opened the innings, and they gave a blistering start to the Indian innings as they added 94 for the first wicket. As I said, it was a perfect batting pitch. The ball was nicely coming onto the bat. There was not much of a bounce, so it was easy to really play the strokes, and that was precisely. But the way the strokes were played, Rohit Sharma, it was pure brilliance from Rohit Sharma. The way he and also let's talk about Mark Wood. Now, Mark Wood has been the nemesis for India in this T20 series, but today he was absolutely brought to book on a batting pitch where Rohit Sharma hit the ball as fast as he could. I mean, Mark Wood was bowling at 150 clicks, but Rohit Sharma was absolutely equal to the task, slamming him for boundaries. And Virat Kohli, as I said, at the initial stage, Virat Kohli started playing second fiddle. It was Rohit Sharma who was doing all the scoring. Virat Kohli took his time and then finally opened up, playing some brilliant strokes as well. As Virat Kohli, as is his wont, he's someone we all know that he can manufacture strokes out of nothing. And this partnership blossomed to a certain extent to 9 overs. They had added 94 for the first wicket before Ben Stokes cleaned up Rohit Sharma. And Rohit Sharma also, as I said, coming into form here, which was good news, out for 64 of 34 deliveries, which included 4 fours and 5 beautiful sixes by Rohit Sharma. And Mark Wood, he did not spare any bowler. And the effortlessness with which Rohit Sharma was hitting the sixes, I would say we could call it languid grace. Virat Kohli continued. Surya Kumar, yes, now his nickname is Sky. As you know, Surya Kumar Yadav is Sky. And he came in and once again, like a rising sun, came in and blasted the English bowlers. The situation was absolutely tailor-made. The other day we saw that he smote the first ball of his international career for a six, but this time he just waited one ball, and the next two balls from Adil Rashid disappeared for sixes. And what a player Surya Kumar Yadav is turning out to be. No wonder Kohli has already marked him, penciled him for the T20 World Cup, and why not? I mean, the strokes that he plays are absolutely, I don't know what is it, amazing strokes, because he gets so much of time to play his strokes. And look at the confidence in this bloke, Surya Kumar Yadav. And that is what really gives me an absolute joy when talking about this bloke, Surya Kumar Yadav. Because he is someone who is batting with utmost confidence. Just his second game of his international career, he's already had a maiden 50 on his T20 debut under his belt, and here he comes in and belts 32 runs of 17 deliveries, which included 3 fours and 2 sixes. Hardik, after that, Hardik Pandya was promoted in the batting order as the runs were just cascading from the Indian blades. Virat Kohli was there. Hardik Pandya came in. He also got into some fantastic form as he slammed an unbeaten 39 of 17 deliveries with 4 fours and 2 sixes. The partnership between Kohli and Surya Kumar Yadav yielding 49 runs. And then it was the partnership between Virat Kohli and Hardik Pandya, which took India to 224 for 2 at the end of their innings, with Virat Kohli not out on a princely 80 of just 52 deliveries, which included 7 fours and 2 sixes. Hardik Pandya was not out on a hard hit 39 of 17 deliveries, which included 4 fours and 2 sixes. Well, as I said, we can't fault the bowlers here, as the pitch was absolutely easy to bat on. It was an absolute feather bed, one could call it. Adil Rashid, 4 overs, 1 for 31. I thought he bowled well if you look at the way the other bowlers were treated. Geoffrey Archer went for 43. He tried a lot of slower balls, but the Indians were absolutely equal to the task in judging the slower balls and depositing it. And Rohit Sharma hit one good length delivery into the pickets. Mark Wood, 4 overs, none for 53. Now, that was the most important thing for me, because Wood was the nemesis for India. but India went absolutely afterward and really saw to it that he did not get any handle on the Indian batsman. 4 overs, none for 53 for Mark Wood. Chris Jordan in fact, gave 4 runs more than Wood. 4 overs, none for 57. Sam Curran went for 11 of his solitary over. Stokes had 3 overs, one for 26. So that was as far as India was concerned. Now it was the turn of England to score 225. They had a very, very poor start. Jason Roy lost his stumps going for a big shot as his middle stump lay on the ground of the bowling of Bhuvaneshwar Kumar. He was gone for naught, and that was a big blow for England on a perfect batting pitch. Now it was Josh Butler, joined in by David Mallon. As you know, Josh Butler definitely in some form. For David Mallon has been struggling for form, but this was the absolute pitch for David Mallon to get into form and become the highest T20, the fastest to 1,000 runs in T20 history as he went past Babar Azam, who had probably scored in 26 innings, I reckon, and David Mallon made it in his 24th innings. David Mallon, as you has been struggling for form, but what superb strokes. I mean, Josh Butler, we know what he can do with the bat. He was doing that. But David Mallon, it was a treat to watch him. He's absolutely strong through the offside. He was screaming boundaries aplenty. The other side, Josh Butler, when he got an opportunity, was coming dancing down the wicket and hitting them into the crowd. And he was hitting those boundaries. But David Mallon, as I said, was extremely strong through the offside. And both of them were doing a great job from 0 for 1. The Indian bowlers were absolutely under the pump as Josh Butler and David Mallon were doing a majestic job there. They're taken the score to 130 in 13 overs, and that was enough for them to set a platform for the other powerful England batsmen to come in and really get England on the total, get them on that road to victory there. But the Josh Butler and David Mallon, they were doing a great job. Everything was going well. As David Mallon was growing in confidence after being the fastest to 1,000 runs in T20 history. Congratulations to David Mallon. He has been struggling for form, but here comes his form in a very, very big way. What a knock from David Mallon. Now, this was the turning point of the game. Everything was going well for England, but after that, it was an absolute collapse. From 130, they were reduced to 188 for 8, thus losing the match. And that was, if you look at it, it was 58 runs, by which in 58 runs, there were 7 wickets fell for England. And that was the one which really turned the game around for India. But let's go and give the credit here. Looking at that, so Butler made 52 of 34 deliveries, 2 fours and 4 sixes. David Mallon making 68 of 46, 9 fours and 2 sixes in that knock. And after that, it was Thakur Pandya got into the act. Thakur once again showing his importance to the team, bowling those knuckle balls, bowling those balls slower off the wicket, bowling those nice off cutters. And there he comes, Shardul Thakur. Once again, the other day, he picked up some important wickets. Today also, he did the same. He picked up the important wickets there. He picked up one important wicket of David Mallon. That was the big wicket he got. David Mallon was absolutely defeated by the slowness of the ball from Thakur. And then Johnny Barish also fell a victim to something like that of the bowling of Thakur. He was gone for 7. Morgan left to the bowling of Pandya for 1. Ben Stokes was consumed for 14 by Natarajan. Chris Jordan went for 11. Jofra Archer came in. That was a bit of surprise for me as to why. I know it would have not made a big difference, but if you look at the scorecard there, it was 165 for 6 when Ben Stokes departed. So it was 18.3 overs. Yes, it was still a mountain of runs to get for them. There is no doubt about it. But looking at the way, one was really surprised that Jofra Archer was promoted ahead of Sam Curran, because when Sam Curran came, look at what he did. He scored 14 of just 3 deliveries. He was not out on 14. So for me, it begs the question as to why Sam Curran was not sent at that particular time, because Ben Stokes departed at 18.3 overs. So you have 9 legal balls left. And the equation, I know it is a very, very tough equation. Probably one might think that what I'm talking is not really sense. Yeah, it could be the case, because with 9 legal balls remaining. One does not know. It is cricket. In cricket, anything can happen, as we all know. Only thing what I'm coming to is trying to say that one did not really understand that move. Why Jofra Archer came ahead of Sam Curran? I mean, there's nothing wrong. I mean, whether England were going to win it or lose it, Sam Curran could have come and just indulged in sense of big hitting, because Sam Curran is more like a recognized player who is much better than Jofra Archer. So one does not know what was the thinking behind it. It's just my pure opinion on my show. That's a sort of an observation I had, even though I don't think it would have made a great difference to the context of things that were happening at the Narendra Modi Stadium. But nevertheless, it was all Jofra Archer was run out for 1. Sam Curran was not out on 14. As I said, it was all the Indian bowlers, 188 for 8. Game over. India winning the match and taking the series 3-2. Marvelous performance. But the man of the match, let's talk about the man of the match, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar. I mean, he's back. He's back with a bang. Looking at this match, if one has to give credit, it has to be the man of the match, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar. What splendid bowling from him on a feather bed of a pitch where batting was absolutely easy. The bloke Bhuvaneshwar Kumar comes in and bowls 4 overs for 15 runs and picks up 2 wickets. I mean, these are golden bowling figures in the context of the game. I mean, 200 runs. It's a high-scoring game, and Kumar has given a stellar performance. And I'm absolutely delighted that Bhuvaneshwar Kumar got the man of the match. He was the absolute right choice. Hardik Pandya also did his job, 1 for 34. Washington Sundar had 13 runs taken off his solitary over. Thakur once again impressing, 3 for 45, more and more becoming a part of this Indian team on a regular basis now. T. Natarajan definitely looking a bit ragged, one could say. 4 overs, 1 for 39. Rahul Chahar also gave away runs, 3 overs, 1 for 33. Virat Kohli was given the player of the series for his brilliant batting, one could say. So that is as far as this particular game is concerned. I'm not going to get into it because I think time is running. I think I've consumed a lot of time speaking, but definitely it was. So let's skim through the other scores here. Afghanistan, Zimbabwe, just talking about it. As I said, Afghanistan clean sweeping Zimbabwe 3-0 in the T20 series. We know that Zimbabwe won't be a part of the T20 World Cup, but look out for Afghanistan. I think they are having some good bunch of youngsters. They have good experience now, and I think Afghanistan will be definitely this time. I definitely feel Afghanistan will be someone one has to watch, no doubt about it. And as far as looking at the Afghanistan 3-0, and also congratulations to Asghar Afghan, the Afghanistan captain, who now holds the record for the highest number of victories in T20 history, 41, going past the former Indian captain Mahendra Singh Dhoni, who had 40 wins. So that is quite an achievement. Afghanistan can rejoice in that achievement of Asghar Afghan as captain. So Afghanistan made 183 for 7. The man who turned it all, it was not going well for Afghanistan. Zimbabwe were doing a good job, but Najibullah Zadran, the 19-year-old bloke, absolutely pulled the fat out of the fire by firing in unbeaten 72 of just 35 deliveries, which included an equal numbers of 4s and 6s, 5 4s and 5 6s, to take the Afghanistan team on to 183 for 7. And the Zimbabweans, once again, as has been the case in this ODI series, the margin has been around the 40 mark, and that's what precisely happened. Zimbabwe were kept to 136 for 5, with Sikandar Raza making 41. Ryan Ball definitely impressing, showing that he has the capability to go big, and that is good news for Zimbabwe in a T20. He was not out on 39 of 31 deliveries, 1 4 and 3 6s. He's the same man who blasted Rashid Khan for 3 6s in the previous game. So that is as far as Afghanistan v Zimbabwe were concerned. As far as Bangladesh New Zealand was concerned, that was the first ODI where New Zealand had absolutely a cakewalk victory, as the Bangladesh batting absolutely succumbed to the New Zealand bowling in Christchurch. I suppose this match was played in Dunedin, and Bangladesh were bowled out for 131. They had a few debutants as well, and the highest scorer in the Bangladesh team was Mahmudullah with 27, and 19 coming from Liton Das. So it was not a good exhibition of batting from Bangladesh. They struggled. And Trent Bolt was the one who did the maximum of damage, 4 for 27 for him, 2 for 27, James Neesham. I'm not going into much of it because of the lack of time, but New Zealand for 132 for 2, they won the match by 8 wickets in 21.2 overs. Martin Guptill was absolutely in a very, very punitive mood. He was just hitting the balls for fours and sixes as he crashed 38 of just 19 deliveries, which included three fours and four sixes. Devon Conway was impressive with his 27, making his ODI debut. 27 of 52 deliveries, two fours. Henry Nichols was the one who was there till the end, not out on 49 for 53, six fours. Will Young also making his ODI debut, also looked good in a very brief knock of 11 runs of six deliveries, unbeaten knock with two boundaries. And that was it. That was the end of it. Taskin Ahmed, I thought, was the best of the bowlers. Taskin Ahmed, what I can say about Taskin Ahmed is that there's been a lot of talk going on that Bangladesh had definitely spruced up their pace department. But I can say one thing for a fact: that Taskin Ahmed definitely looked the piece. He was running in beautifully. His action, he seemed to have really modeled, reconstructed his action. He has a nice smooth run up to the wicket, and he was bowling 140 clicks, and that is absolutely brilliant, I thought. And for Bangladesh to have a bowler who could bowl at 140 clicks is something that they will definitely take. And Taskin Ahmed, I thought he was, even though, I mean, if you look at his bowling figures, 4 overs, 1 for 23, but he was really getting that raw pace onto the wicket. And that was definitely, he was showing that raw pace, and he was surprising the New Zealand batsmen with his pace for sure. So he's one to watch out for, no doubt about it. And there were some debutants. Hassan Mahmood was making his debut. Yes, there were three debutants. Daryl Mitchell did not get an opportunity. He also made his debut for New Zealand. But for as far as Zimbabwe comes, Mahdi Hassan was making his debut. But I thought he bowled well. He gave a good exhibition of bowling. Mahdi Hassan, 6 overs. Mahdi Hassan Miraz is another spinner. Mahdi Hassan is another bowler. 6 overs, none for 17. He was impressive with his bowling. Hassan Mahmood, he was for the first time playing on New Zealand wickets. I thought he was very costly, 4.2 overs. He's an youngster, 1 for 49. I'm not going to go into much of it. The man of the match went to Trent Bolt, and that is as far as this particular game was concerned. Now, I know there are some questions being shot at me. I'm coming to that, dear friends. As I said, time is short. I'm trying to catch up with all the cricket, but I don't think I will have enough time now to go to see the past as to what's going on. But let me answer your questions here. Absolutely excited, my friend, for the ODI series. It should be another beauty of a contest coming up with both these teams absolutely evenly balanced, and we can't wait to have the ODI series. It starts on Pune. All the matches, there are going to be 3 ODI matches going to be played on March 26, 23, 26, and 28, to my knowledge. And definitely, yes, Kohli, Rohit, SK Iyer, Hardik Jadeja, yes, my friend, you nailed it. Everybody, I mean, it's going to be an absolute a thriller, no doubt about it. And yes, definitely, Kohli, Rohit, Sky, yes, that is the man. Surya Kumar Yadav is the man for India now. Iyer, Pant, Hardik, it's absolute raw batting power in that batting lineup. We have Jadeja probably coming up, as you said, Sundar, Shardul, Natarajan. Bumrah will be back, and I'm sure Bumrah will be absolutely geared up. And definitely, I think we are looking out for this contest. But definitely, the T20 series to me was a really mouth-watering contest. We had a real cricket contest there between India and England to prove which team, and India were the ones who proved that they were superior to England in this format, T20. And that is a great feeling, as I said, after putting out England. Well, dear fans, friends, subscribers, I don't know whether I can still go the distance, but I'm trying to see. I do my best to see whether I can still go the distance to share any information. Probably I could share some cricket news here, if at all we have. Let me see what I have for you. Gary Wilson, who has done a lot of service to Irish cricket, he has decided to retire. He's taking a coaching role there. West Indies and Sri Lanka. The first test match starts in Antigua on 21st of March, that is tomorrow, where West Indies take on Sri Lanka in the first test match. So that will be very interesting. as to what really goes on. Sri Lanka definitely in their tour game was struggling against the West Indians. So that'll be interesting to see how they go. I also get some news here that Jofra Archer will be missing the first half of Indian Premier League 2021. Well, dear fans, as I said, time is really running out. And also, let's talk about the Indian team. Probably take a just let's take a sneak peek at the Indian team. We know the as Virat Kohli has mentioned that the pacer from Karnataka, his name Prasidh Krishna, is an absolute X factor, and Kohli knows what he's talking. And Prasidh Krishna is the brand new bloke in the Indian ODI squad. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes, Prasidh Krishna. Surya Kumar Yadav on the basis of his fantastic performance in the T20 series has been selected in the ODI series. I'm definitely excited about that. And others, many people are missing out, as you know, Mayank Agarwal. My friend, you talked about Bumrah. Unfortunately, Bumrah won't be in the team because Bumrah, as you know, recently got married. Probably he needs some time for himself and his spouse, probably. So he's not there in the team. Mayank Agarwal, Mohammad Shami, Manish Pandey, Navdeep Saini, and Sanju Samson all are missing from the lineup this time. And Krunal Pandya is back. We will also see Mohammad Siraj, who did well in Australia, coming into the mix as well. So it's going to be, it's really going to be a great ODI series, no doubt about it. Well, Varun Chakravarti, I have to say that Varun Chakravarti, the reason Varun Chakravarti does not find himself in the team, it's very unlucky, unfortunate. As you know, India nowadays has got, I mean, every country has the, you have to prove your fitness level. And I think Rahul Tewatia and Varun Chakravarti were the ones who actually failed the fitness test. So that is the precise reason. And nowadays, I think that is very important as well. If you want to play cricket and you want to play cricket for a long time without injuries and stay absolutely fit, this is something which is there for all the other countries as well. So India probably has made it a bit stricter, but I think it's all for the good. And that's the precise reason Varun Chakravarti and Rahul Tewatia have failed the fitness test and they find themselves out of the mix here. One thing I can say in the com box, I heard the England player Graham Swan actually telling that he would have loved to see Rahul Tewatia into action. In fact, he went all the way of saying that if at all I had a chance, I would also pick Rahul Tewatia in the England team as well. So definitely, the experts are thinking very highly of Rahul Tewatia, I reckon. And unfortunately, as I said, he failed the fitness test and he could not take part in the T20 as well. But nevertheless, I'm sure that days will come. But again, as we all know, dear fans and subscribers, it is okay. Thank you. If Swan is a great RR fan, okay, maybe he's an RR fan because he has definitely seen that blistering innings that he played in the Indian Premier League 2020. But nevertheless, we had a great game and nice chatting, dear friends and subscribers. Keep the chat going. We will be not now, but tomorrow maybe I'll once again be catching up with you all on the Cricket Happening show. So that is the time we will once again get connected. We probably, probably it will be the first Test match between West Indies um, and Sri Lanka. And any other cricket news that comes my way, I'll be probably willing to share. So again, it has been a pleasure talking to you all, chatting with you all. Always a pleasure when I have you guys. And as I said, the cooperation and the tremendous support that I receive for Cricket Happenings absolutely motivates me to come and give my best on my Cricket Happening show. And looking forward to your company once more tomorrow. That's on a Sunday. And that's it. Bye, everybody. And look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Thank you.